Well, hello and welcome to another Boob Tube Buddies podcast coverage of Sense8 Season 2. This time we're on Episode 3, Obligate Mutualisms.
God bless you.
Thanks. I'm the philosopher, and with me is the pearl to my non-formulated oyster poop, Kristin. What's going on?
Hi. God, what an introduction. I love it.
Yeah, I struggle with them like that.
It was perfect.
Yeah, the other ones are so much more clever. Like when I hear Foxman and Mathis do it, it's much better. Oh, there I go. I never get the names right either.
It's okay.
But just some housekeeping. So you can reach us at boobtubebuddies.com. Check us out at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, all the social media outlets. We're on there. All that shit. Give us your feedback. You can also go on iTunes and review us. We appreciate that. It's really helpful.
Specifically, Michael and I.
Yeah, specifically. Like, just Philosopher and Kristin are awesome. The rest I don't know so much about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More.
Right, ego.
Or if you're Spanish, más.
Support our sponsors, Blue Apron and Audible. Anything else?
We are currently covering...
Oh, yeah, we are currently covering Better Call Saul, Fargo. Oh, man, I'm drawing a
American
blank.
Gods.
American Gods. I'm on that one, so I should remember it.
Go ahead and listen to the coverage of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, we did.
Tits.
I think we're getting ready to do Covenant. I think Mathis and... Mothman and Foxman are going to do that one.
I don't know who Mathis is.
Yeah, no, neither do
Who's
I.
Mathis?
Just the name I have in my head.
Okay.
But I think that's it. But definitely just check out just check us out on the website. Everything's on there, all the links and everything like that. So getting into it now after that mess.
No, it was beautiful.
Yeah, no,
It was gorgeous.
Smooth.
I wouldn't change a thing.
That's exactly how I typed it out. So, this episode, what'd you think of it?
I loved it.
Did you? Yeah, I think this was really good. These first.
It was action packed.
Yeah.
There was still like funny parts.
A lot happened. A lot of like really good playing off of each other type moments.
A lot of holy shit moments.
Yeah, it was really, really a good episode.
Got some answers.
Yeah, it really moved the plot forward, which like we said in the primer, we said last thing that was always going to be the issue is getting these characters moving in a direction.
They did it in one episode better than they did it in an entire first season.
Yeah, did you ever watch Heroes?
No, but I know of it.
Yeah, Heroes stalled out in the second season really bad. Like they had all these great stories in the first season, and then and this show has been compared to it a lot. And
I like that. That's the opposite then.
Yeah, so that's the big thing is the characters all seem they've got them moving.
Do you wonder if maybe her sister that's not working on it anymore like was always like, no, we got to take our time with this, and she's like, no, and now that she's gone, she's like, I want to do what I want.
Yeah, that's a good point because I mean sometimes you just have too many hands in the cookie jar.
Yep.
And sometimes even simplifying, like you might lose some aspect of what the other sister brought to it, but you kind of shave it down and get it going in the right direction with just...
Is there anything that you've seen, well, since you've actually seen all of it, do you think that there's anything specific that might have been missing this season that was contributed by the other sister? Because I can't
Not
remember.
without like giving stuff away. Like there's some stuff later on that I'm curious.
So maybe we come back to this?
Yeah, so that'll be a good topic to bring up because I am curious if as the show goes on, some of the things that happen are maybe a byproduct of that changing dynamic between the two of them. Although I'm sure they're in contact about it. Just she went hands off.
Yeah, exactly. So how about we sum it up?
Sum it up in a tweet. That sounds perfect.
Oh yeah, we're summing it up, so summing it up, summing it up. Oh yeah, we're summing it up. Oh yeah, we're summing it up, so summing it up, summing it up and up.
Tweet.
Milt's value went to 0. Min Young's the real hero. Kroom could have been an ally, but who cares because now he's a dead guy.
That's so much better than mine. See, you're nailing it. Like I've just like I feel bad because I'm not phoning them in.
I was gonna say,
but like I used to do so few shows that like I would concentrate on it for like a full week, and now it's like I'm doing multiple things. So I'm like,
it's stressful, and I have not had internet because my plan when I left last time was to catch up so you and I would be same level.
Yeah.
Because half of my notes normally are like, ooh, do you think this may happen? And you know it doesn't, or does. So it's kind of a different dynamic. And so I was hoping to do it, and I have no internet. I literally watched both episodes on my iPhone.
Well, the bad thing now... Well, let me do my tweet. We'll get into this.
Okay.
All right. While Will gets a win, Sun almost gets done in. But Wolfgang's having some fun with a new sensorium.
Oh.
And that is summing it up in a tweet. Yeah, so jumping like back into that, like now I see it so much, like because it's my sleeping show. So like when I get home and relax, I've seen enough of it now that I know that I can put it on in the repetition. I'm going to pass out. Like so, I've probably seen it now like 6 times.
God damn it!
Yeah, I know. So it's like I come home and I turn it on, and like when I say I've seen it 6 times, like the last 3 times, I'll watch like 4 episodes, but only be awake for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, but still, even when you're sleeping, the type of sleep you're getting at the beginning, you're still soaking it in your brain.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I really need to catch up.
No,
Saturday, I got my internet.
It's healthy that you don't.
No, it's not, because I have sleeping shows, too. And I really want to catch up because, like I said, when I put my notes together, all I want to do is make these theories. And I'm like, well, this is pointless. because I'll be like, ooh, and I think maybe this. And you'll just sit there and nod like, maybe.
Right.
I know, so.
Yeah, lord it over you silently.
Exactly. So we begin with Will pretty much taunting Milton.
This was great. Like, this exchange between the two, he's like, what did he say? He's
a
like,
little cheesy, but great.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that was the longest steak out of my life. And
yes.
They're all sitting there in the room together, and they all, the Sense8s, they all have, like, alcohol in their hand. They're just happy and relaxing, and it's really a nice moment.
I really liked it a lot. I love how he's like, a little sensorium pride.
Yeah, let's bump it out.
That was so great. Okay, so then, so they're in that room with Milton, and he pretty much says, I want to talk to
Kroom.
Kroom. It's Kroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Croome.
Yeah. Okay, so he then enlists, super team to find out facts right away.
Right, because, Whispers doesn't want, like, he wants to have the meeting with Kroom without Whispers, and Whispers isn't going to go for that, and since he's got to be the translator, they use Nomi and Bug to hack into the guy's phone and find everything out about him.
Exactly, and then they also use it to text him personally.
Right.
And I really want to use that next line as a firing tool one day.
Yeah. Well, put Givens on ice?
No.
Oh.
You've exaggerated your value.
Oh, okay. It's like, no, we're going to put you on ice. It's like, that's a little harsh, but okay.
No, I think that you've exaggerated your value is a lot more like.
Yeah, it's a good.
I'm not afraid to say this because A, he would never hear this, and B, if he did, he'd probably be proud of it. This is something my boss would say.
Is it?
Yes, because his favorite line is either you or your replacement will do the job. I'm rooting for you.
Oh, that's cold. Yeah.
And so you've exaggerated your value. I just feel like would just be another awesome line for him.
That would be a harsh thing to hear if you're on the other side of the table.
I know, but they're always so calculated that I'm like, that is the harshest, best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But they've never been directed towards me, so that's probably why I'm still a fan of them. I'm gonna go ahead and guess. But we finally figure out he gets rid of Whispers, and Will's free. And then they have that moment where they walk outside and he breathes the fresh air.
Right. And my favorite part of this moment is not like the walking out is nice because he's getting the sun and it's like that first moment. And you know how that feels like if you've been inside, you've been sick or you're up north and you're in the winter all the time. You walk out and you get that first sunny day. It's great. But Sun laying in her cell and like she's just like crying and smiling and she has that little moment with her bunkmate where I was like, Are you guys going to get it on right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I watched that.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen at any moment in the show.
You're right. You're always like, I'm expecting it to happen.
Exactly.
Like, I'm surprised it hasn't happened more already.
I do remember going, all right, what's about to happen here?
Yeah. It was a moment.
It definitely was a moment.
But she's like crying because it's so, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice. That's what
thing
I love about this show.
The one thing I hated about that moment is Nomi walking outside and going, I'm like, homegirl, you are not stuck inside. Why are you acting like This is your first time out.
This goes back to your thing about Nomi.
I'm sorry.
I can't stop seeing it now.
Same with Bug.
So yeah,
we've ruined these scenes for each other.
Right, that dynamic
completely
is ruined. It's destroyed, and he gets the most attention on Twitter too. So like I see it, and I'm like, I don't feel like I should respond on this because it's insincere.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly, and I don't want to seem like I'm insensitive to the situation or anything. It's just, listen. The best way to approach it is I'm not calling anybody out because of their specific character or anything. I don't care if it was Will Gorski. If he wasn't delivering the lines the way they should, and if they weren't giving the lines the way they should, I'm going to say something.
Right. It's just the acting is a little insincere. So I don't know. I'm hoping her story, like maybe her story gets, like I think in the first part of the first season, when she was the center of attention, when she was in the hospital, I liked her more. So maybe if later on she'll get inserted a little bit more dramatically and she'll live up to it.
But these whole like procedural shows, that's what she reminds me of. Like the side bit character in these procedural shows that like you just pan to and all of a sudden she's like, got it. He did this at this hour and he likes apples.
She's a support character. And it's strange because she started out as possibly one of the main lead characters in that first part of the season. So there's a transition going on there, and that's probably going to happen.
But maybe that's just really giving light to all of the Sense8s.
Right, exactly. So they'll probably have to rotate, and it's probably going to be a continuing theme. I think they just already renewed season 3. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, that'll probably be a thing where people peak and then they drop, and then they peak and then they drop. But we go from that. We go from the thing with Will and Whispers and Kroom and going outside in the sun to Sun being in that cell, and then they come and get her.
Yes, and it's definitely not your everyday prison guard.
No, so she calls for help.
Wait, before we go on that, because this is something we can expand on, real quick. Lito's super happy about that whole exchange of going outside, so he goes in really happy
to his meeting
and told, "Sorry, dude, your franchise is."
Right, and
sorry to interrupt. But
no, it's good because there was something in there that I wanted to point to. Like he goes into the meeting with his agents. That woman's a bitch. Like how do you not like Leto? Get off his back. Everybody likes Leto, and he kisses her on the shoulder, and she looks disgusted by it. The other guy is playing it off a little bit better, but
exactly.
Yeah, you can tell there's a changing attitude in that room towards Leto already.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you have heard this before, but they say that pretty much Brian Jacob Smith is a closeted actor.
Oh, is he?
Where he definitely comes out all the time as straight on Twitter, and there are other back forums where a bunch of honestly gay guys talk about how closeted he is because there's so much evidence, picture-wise and everything. So to think about that. Think about the straight, white Chicago cop that he's playing can identify with Lito's character.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, a
little heartbreaking, but cool.
It is. Yeah, I know. I mean, just like the meta and the micro operating at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, that's the great thing about the show is that it touches on these things that are just
it touches on emotions
relevant.
that. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so like you said, Soon was being taken by the prison guards.
Right, so, and they drag her off. She immediately calls Nomi for help because that's what Nomi's role is.
This scene, man.
Yeah, this was, it's developing. She's like, don't go in that room, don't go in that room. They just shut off the thing. Will's like, they're wearing the uniforms don't fit these guys. They're obviously not guards. The tasers aren't the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then, she starts kicking their ass.
But then she gets tased.
And
then you see what Whispers was talking about in episode 2/episode 1. And about experiencing the pain of being a Sense8 in a cluster.
Right. She gets hit with that taser and Capheus is driving his thing and you can see he's experiencing the pain. And she gets tased again and it switches characters and then you see, I think it's Wolfgang the second time and Kala.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes in waves. I don't think it has anything to do with the combinations of characters.
Then she finally gets knocked down and put in a noose.
Right. And when they string her up, they all get strung up.
This part killed me. I was like, "Oh my god, one of them's about to die. They're just going to go crazy." I'm so ready for Game of Thrones action.
Yeah.
That I'm like, they're just going to
Right.
Cuz give me 10 years ago I'd be like, "Oh, they would never kill anybody off." And now I'm like,
Yeah, you're just waiting for it.
Someone's gonna die.
It's a new era.
Exactly.
But like it was such a tense scene too because she's fighting so hard and you know, it's you see especially like the Will and Riley are both in the apartment at the same time. Like that to me was like kind of a jarring scene because they both have that where they're being strung up, their necks are extended, that sort of thing. And it's like
and they really take the necklaces of all the girls who are laying down. Like Nomi's necklace, it looked like when she like Amani's trying to help her.
That's cool.
And then Kala, when she's like laying down, she's like, and so they really use the accessories for the women as the nooses at the time where they were at.
But as they get her feet off the ground,
yes.
What was her name?
Min Young.
Min Young.
That's okay? So as a uninformed white woman, I would say Min Jung.
It might be.
But I would say Min Young.
If you're listening to this and holding us to our pronunciations of foreign names...
Actually, please tell us, because
I'd
rather know.
I would rather know, too.
But be forgiving, because I'm...
Right.
I'm
We're not trying to be disrespectful.
Exactly. It's pure ignorance.
So she impales the guy holding the cord. With something. Did you know what it was?
No, I think it was just like some random metal piece, right?
How the fuck did she get out of that cell?
Good question.
Right, because...
Well, actually, everybody was sleeping, right? And was she the only one that woke up? You've seen it.
Well, no, I think everybody in the cell was aware, because they came
But did they even close the door behind them? Because they're not the... Oh.
Like, they specifically closed the door, he locks it, and he's looking through the bars, and he looks right at her.
But she's a veteran, man. She knows her way around.
I guess. So something weird happens, and she managed to get out of the cell.
If that's what I start questioning in this show, I'm being realistic,
Right.
then I'm in trouble.
I know. Well, I'm like, listen, like, you want me to believe the Homo sensorium stuff, fine, but I'm not going to believe that somebody somehow got out of the cell.
I call bullshit.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the end of the line for me. But she kills the guy, and then in that brief respite, you know, Will jumps in, is able to kind of hijack into Sun and get control of the situation. Kicks some ass, and
they're gonna hightail it out this.
They're gonna hightail it out of there now.
I loved this part.
The lines, like when she's the lines were delivered really weird. Like they made her say, what was it? We're blowing this joint. What was it she said?
Yeah.
It did not come out of her mouth right. Like it would seem like a really hard phrase to her to say with her accent, and it wasn't good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're blowing this joint, I think is what she said.
My favorite part is more when they steal the van.
Yeah.
And they get up to the guy, and she doesn't know what to say, and all of a sudden it's Leto, and he's
right.
like, we never get this schedule.
Right. So they're looking for a vehicle to steal. They see on the security camera there's a van. Capheus gets excited. They're driving it out. There's a security gate. She hits it. The guy's like, I didn't know you had a delivery this late at night. And she's like, and then Leto jumps in. It's like, are you fucking around with me? That you know these people don't fucking care about us.
I know. It's so like effortless. I can't. You know what? I'm giving up on that word on this podcast because I can never say it correctly.
It was without effort.
Thank you. Exactly. That's what I will start saying. I also loved when they decide that they need to find a parking lot to get into. I don't know. For some reason, I love the moment of Wolfgang taking over and turning around and putting his hands on Min Young. Like,
because it was a very Sun thing to do.
Yes.
Like, because you had seen her do it before where she like put her hands on her, and then so the repetition of that action, but this time it's Wolfgang doing it.
I liked it for some reason. And then what did she say to Min Young about like how did you learn to do that being somebody's daughter? And she's like,
other lives.
Yeah, other lives.
Yeah.
It was good. The only thing I did hate about the scene is Bugs born free.
I mean, yeah. So I don't like the character too much. There's actually like there's a couple little small scenes that I do like them, but we're not there yet. But yeah, on the big picture, I'm not
a huge fan.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't stress that enough.
Yes. No, I'm now attached to that. So, okay, so now we have Wolfgang going back to Sebastian Fuchs.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk to him about big scale money laundering, but this is where the tables seriously fucking turn.
Right, but he's not talking to Wolfgang. He talks to Wolfgang as a peripheral character to Felix. Like everything is directed at Felix, and I guess that's an interesting tactic to take, but they're not like really they're dealing with Wolfgang, but only through Felix. It's strange.
Smart.
It is smart, but we meet Lila Fuhini, the Neapolitan.
Exactly.
And she is, well, other than whispers, really our first Sense8 that we get.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it completely turns the table, especially when you find out she can pretty much molest him without anybody seeing.
Yeah, and she's got a great face for this role. Like,
she does.
She's got a great, like, mischievous look to her. I think she's a model. I don't have her.
Especially when, like, I think it was maybe the next episode we talk about where she's like, he's like, what do you want? She's like, I want everything.
Yeah, it's I like her. Like, I like her in that role because she's got a good look for being the character that she is.
Oh, she definitely does. She's
like, but it's great where they're sitting there. It's Felix and Sebastian talking about the business of handing over the club, and you look over and Wolfgang's sitting on the edge of the chair because he's got her in his lap in his mind, and you're looking at her funny. He's like, oh, and he's like,
exactly, and it was just like so like. Well, I remember when that scene came on, I'm like, okay, the possibilities that just opened are insane.
Yeah. It's like we talked about that in the thing too. Like, we wanted to see more Sense8, so you can assume with her that she's attached, she's got her own cluster, so at least it opens the door to a bunch more characters that we're going to see them be able to interact with in this way. Yeah,
I'm excited for that. And then we have Lito, Daniela, and Hernando looking for the apartment.
Mm-hmm. I love how they decide on the apartment.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
I think because this tub can fit all three of us, we have to get it.
This is us. I feel so bad for her when she's like, the parking's adequate, and he's like, adequate.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a good word.
That's a good word.
But I just like when they're first looking at the apartment, just for point of reference, Lito's looking out of the bedroom window, and it's right on top of the entrance to the parking garage. And he just comes out and tells Hernando, the cars are going under. They're going into the room.
Exactly.
And Hernando's like, oh yeah, what about parking? He's like, no, not parking.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have Min-young and Soon going to Min-young's friend's house. And I mean, to keep it small, her friend...
Ex-cellmate,
yeah, exactly. I guess her husband was into gambling and then killed himself. And then once she got out of jail for being guilty by association, her son wanted nothing to do with her.
Yeah, and these stories, I don't mind them necessarily. Mm-hmm. But if there's going to be more Korean women characters that are abused by men, that's like the 5th or 6th one now.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
find a new storyline.
Right. So it's all right. I mean, just stop it now.
Yeah, you're totally right about that.
But that's what it was. Her husband was a gambler. He threw himself under a train, and she inherited the gambling debts and went to jail.
They're like, we accept anyone in this show except for Korean men.
Right.
They're shit.
They are. So they're hiding out with them.
Wait, am I being ridiculous by assuming she's Korean?
No, I don't think so. They're in Korea.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, just because she was smuggling the drugs to Japan.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, that was the assumption I made too.
I'm so afraid.
Yeah,
I'm so scared of everyone.
No, I think she's supposed to be Korean.
Okay, cool, good. So before we move on, I think we should play a game.
A game and an ad. 2 truths and 1 little lie, and then we'll throw it to an ad.
Let's hear about some food.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's play a game called
2 truths and 1
big little lie.
All right, so this game, 2 truths and 1 little lie. I've got girls, you've got boys. Mm-hmm. You want me to go first?
Well, let's do the Will Riley, or do you have somebody else on that? I can just turn my page over.
Right, I'm the same way. However you want to do it. So
here, I've got a page I can just literally flip over.
Okay.
So we can do Kala and Wolfgang.
Okay, that's fine. So for me, I've got Kala, Tina Desai. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
So, truth 1. She was discovered on the reality show Get Gorgeous, where she won a modeling contract. Truth 2. She appeared in both the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Well, man, I butchered that. Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, as well as the second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
Okay.
Truth 3. She speaks 5 languages fluently, including English and Hindi. My next one's going to be much better.
Truth 3?
Truth 3, she speaks 5 languages fluently. Wrong!
Yeah!
Woo! That's the first one. I lost like 3 in a row. No, it's actually
The first one?
It was the first one. She was discovered on Get Gorgeous, but she didn't win. She finished second, but she actually got the modeling contract before the winner got the modeling contract.
That always happens.
Does it?
Yeah, think about all the second runner-ups on American Idol. They're much more famous, except for Kelly Clarkson.
This doesn't translate, this blank look.
Well, I'm talking about the first 5 seasons, not the shit that followed up to it, but when everybody was into it.
Blank look. I
feel like I was never into it.
I was never into it.
Well,
I remember the poofy-haired kid.
Apparently you don't like music. I'm just kidding.
I don't.
Apparently you don't like music and
Sometimes I don't like
judging people.
music. I just stopped listening to it in 1999.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Mine is about Max Riemelt, which is Wolfgang. All right. Truth 1. Although part of this amazing show, Max Riemelt has admitted he feels more comfortable doing a play on stage than being in front of the camera. Truth 2. His 3 main interests are football, kickboxing, and rap music. Truth 3. Although he does not have a significant other to speak of, Max Riemelt has 1 young daughter.
Oh, I know he's got a daughter because it was in one of the interviews I read with him in Desai. There's a lot of details in 2. What was number 1?
Although part of this amazing show, Max Riemelt has admitted he feels more comfortable doing a play on stage rather than being in front of the camera.
I'm going to say that's the lie.
Good job.
Yes. It's a good night.
Very good job.
All right, I'm going home. You guys enjoyed the podcast. See ya.
All right, we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's strange, though. Like, would rather be... Like, usually I think it's the other way. I think they're more comfortable on stage. But that's just me. But that's 2 truths and 1 little lie. Enjoy this ad. We'll be right back.
And 1 big little lie.
Hello there, little buddies. Are you looking to impress your significant other? Well, we've got a way. Yeah, that's right. Go to blueapron.com/BTB and sign up for $30 off your first order. That's right, you can get natural, locally sourced ingredients sent straight to your door to make award-winning meals that'll impress the hell out of your lover. Take this one, for example. The mushroom and barley miso ramen with smoked dulce and spicy red cabbage. What do you say to that one, baby?
Me so horny.
Yeah, that's right. Try it now, little buddies. Sexy porn music provided by bensound.com.
And we're back. I had to do that once. All right. We're back, sitting here with all the Sense8s and Jonas at the train station. And Will sees that they have Jonas strapped down.
Yeah, he's still, like... there was a bit of that in the season finale from season 1 when they're in Iceland where he's strapped to that table. Mm-hmm. Things have not improved.
And I love how shocked Will looks in this episode about that he's strapped down.
Yeah.
I've never seen you in this situation before.
How are you not gotten out of this situation? Because we've done literally nothing to help you.
You're still here?
Yeah.
Have you not left? We learn a lot, well, a good amount of Sense8 history and logistics in this scene.
Well, there's a lot of good, good background stuff that is important to pay attention to.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to, like, Angelica and how she kind of got entangled with BPO.
Yes. Jonas tells the story of his father, which is like the cutest little Buddha ever.
It was awesome. Like, that's who I want. If I'm going to be a sensei, that's who I want to stumble across.
Seriously. You know those monkeys that have really long mustaches? They have the big white mustaches? That's what he reminded me of. And I'm going to have to show you after we're done.
You're going to have to show me,
okay,
yeah.
I will. And if anybody's listening, I'll post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
But apparently this dude had 80 children. So here's my question, and you might be able to answer it, and I'm sure anybody listening is ahead of me. So my question is we found out that any gender can give birth
right.
at any point in their life. So my question is, if Angelica gave birth other times, does that mean that the other people she gave birth to is also part of the same cluster? Not cluster, but...
Like related somehow?
You see what I'm saying? Like, is there a deeper connection than maybe somebody else in a different born family? Or?
I think I can answer it without spoiling anything. So she does have other clusters.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if they discussed it at all in this episode, but at least in the next, we'll definitely get into it in the next one. But so she had 2 clusters.
Yeah.
I got the impression from the Jonas story that they're close, because he's like, there were 80 of us there, and he's like, it was fucking biblical.
Oh, I loved that.
Yeah.
The way he delivered it, it was...
Right, it was a great line.
It was a great line. I rewound it a couple times, honestly.
So I did get the impression, like, the way he was describing it in the field, that, this was... They're like, tighter knit than, say, Wolfgang is to Lila.
Yes, okay.
So I mean, even though there's a connection there... I think it is definitely, you have that, just maybe it's an inherent bond and nothing.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So you also hear about Todd. Who does not want to be a part of this at all.
Who was part of Angelica's first cluster.
Was she part? Oh, yeah, she was part of Angelica. Wait. Or was she part of her cluster? Because wasn't Jonas with that Raul guy in his cluster?
So maybe I'm wrong, but I
this was a clusterfuck.
Awesome. Okay, mark that pun. We were gonna get to him eventually.
Boom.
Yeah. I was under the impression that they were her first cluster that she birthed.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but I felt like Todd and Raul and the rest of them were her first cluster.
What's funny is a long time ago I watched this episode of Repo Men or whatever, and there were these LARPers in the woods, and they came to repo their car, and this guy held on to character the whole time, and he's like, "Do not touch my car! Who goes there?" And then all of a sudden one of the chicks breaks characters, and she's like, "I thought you were going to give me a ride home, Todd. You ruin everything, Todd." And so that's become like an inside thing in my head. And so when I heard that the guy who didn't like the cluster and all that was Todd, I'm like, you ruin everything, Todd.
Todd is... listen, my brother-in-law's name is Todd, but...
Does he ruin everything?
Todd is the name of a ruiner.
Okay.
Like, no, he makes everything better, actually, but typically when I hear Todd, I think ruiner.
Yes.
Except for the Fox and the Hound.
There you go. 2 situations. However, every other time. Absolutely.
2 caveats. That's it. Every other Todd, ruiner.
Yes. And then you also kind of... What they're coming to find out is they really need to get some leverage against BPO in order to take them down.
Yeah.
And you also hear about, like you said, the other clusters, including Todd and Raul Pascual, which Lito ends up saying his name because he's met him before.
Yeah, and so when they're describing it, too, like... There's a connection problem there for me. So it seems like some of them are interacting directly with Jonas, and then some of them seem to be interacting through Will.
Well, I think what it was, because I did watch this episode several times, is Will is pretty much relaying what Jonas is saying. And so as he's relaying, maybe he hears what Will said and then says, Raul Pascual. It says something about Raul.
Yeah.
And then maybe finishes the sentence with the last name. I
don't know. Yeah, it's more in the physical acting than in the line delivery for me. Like, he looks at Nomi at one point in time, like, directly at her. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, how does he see her? So, I don't know.
Point.
You gotta suspend a little bit of disbelief, so I'm okay with that.
See, I have this whole theory that Sebastian Fuchs actually sees what's going on the whole time.
I got that feeling, too. Like, maybe, like... He didn't look at Wolfgang as weird as I thought he should have looked at Wolfgang when Wolfgang was doing that weird stuff.
Exactly, almost to the point where I'm like, he's talking over this, but completely sees everything.
Yeah, which would be awesome.
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would definitely be a good little twist. And then, so we find out that Lito knows Raul, but then we pan to Will meeting, I'm just going to call him Krumi. I like it.
Krumi?
It adds a little, like, pop to it.
It's all right.
It's not like we're going to talk about him for long. So.
Yeah, the English are good, are big on, like, cuting things up like that. They're not dry at all.
I eat Sammy's, I get in Trubbies, and I'm going to call him Krumi.
Yeah.
So Will meets Krumi in front of the Rembrandt painting, which is actually the Knight's War.
Oh, you looked it up?
That's what. Yeah, I did, and it signifies unity and war. So it's interesting that they picked that painting.
What's the name of the museum? It's the Reichstag Museum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just another reason to go to Amsterdam.
I mean, it's definitely my fifth reason, but...
Yeah.
But, you know. So we find that... Is this guy like an unexpected ally? Apparently, he wants it to be the way of the original founder, the Ruth al-Sawadi, or...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wrote down is like, at least what they get out of this meeting is that there's a schism in BPO.
Everything changed after 9/11.
Yeah, and by the way, BPO, one of the show creators, Straczynski, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
When they were coming up with things, it's like the Bad Persons Organization is how he came up with.
No,
those.
It's not.
That's how he came up.
Serious?
That's how they came up with those the letters.
Stop! That's amazing.
Yeah, I was just reading an article this week about it.
I love that.
He's like, yeah, we called them the Bad Persons Organization, and then they kind of co-opted it into what BPO actually stands for, which is biological preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was funny.
That's amazing.
Simplest
I like
beginnings.
Very good.
But yeah, he describes the thing. The blockers, he gives Will the blockers, and then shit gets crazy.
Yes, it does. Well, first, like...
Oh, yeah, sorry. I jumped ahead.
No, it's okay. What I was going to say is they really point out something that, I mean, obviously is in everybody's back of their mind, but they're right. After 9/11, if you have groups of clusters and Sense8...
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Secrecy and all that, you know... That actually could really fuck some shit up because probably everybody's not as good as this specific cluster.
Yeah, that's a good thing you brought up because I completely kind of overlooked it. Right, so it gives like some real world weight, you know, that you can relate to. Like, oh, okay, I can understand why these people are dangerous then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you had, and especially because this one cluster comes from all walks of life around the world... You could literally have one person in one country and another person in another at the very wrong time, and
right, and like, well, we're not there yet, but you know, we see that they're able to communicate outside their cluster. We know that. We know that they can communicate outside their cluster.
I don't like it.
That they can be hijacked. I mean, because that's Whisper's game, and we're about to see a big gigantic version of it. So yeah, definitely there's a dangerous aspect to it. And I think that plays kind of back into the show. Like, you know, people thought homosexuals were dangerous because of sexually transmitted diseases and all these misconceptions and stuff. So it kind of plays back into that larger narrative that, you know, don't make assumptions on people based on what they might do.
Yeah, because the people that you would think are scary are probably the least scary, and it's the ones you're not worried about.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, perfectly said. But so they're talking about 9/11, and then all of a sudden, he gives Will the pills, and we see Whispers, but he's the young woman that was painting when Will walked in.
Exactly, the young little artist.
And she puts the wrong end of the brush to work.
Yes, she does. And then she dies, as well as...
Kroom, yeah.
Kroom.
I mean...
But, like, your favorite, you called it something, and I can't remember what it's called when they actually say the name of the title.
Yes, he does say obligate mutualisms.
Meaning they cannot survive without each other, sapiens and sensoriums.
Right, they depend on one another to grow and expand. And
exactly.
Homo sapiens wouldn't be Homo sapiens without the contribution of sensoriums and vice versa.
So, all right, well...
Yeah, and then kind of that's where it cuts out. That's the end of the episode.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good episode.
I like this one.
It was a lot of stuff happened in a very short time. Like, because you know, you open the episode with Will getting the meeting, and to end it with the meeting in such a violent way, it's like, you know.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Good point.
That short little victory they had lasted about an hour. And now
but it was so sweet when it did.
Yeah, and now Matheson is in a better position than ever, apparently. Because he got dragged away by doctors from that, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
they really needed to just put him on ice, but they didn't.
Right. Somebody set him free and set him loose, so it's...
Maybe that was Kroom's plan all along, honestly. To make them think that they got their way.
Possibly.
I love to say maybe, and then I realize you already know, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I forget easily. I'm getting old. But a lot of good stuff coming in the next episode anyhow. And we will see you for episode 4. God damn it, that special is killing me.
I know.
Episode 4.
Cuatro.
And as always, we'd love to hear some feedback from you.
Unless it's negative, then keep it in the emails.
No, give me the negative. Sometimes I'm just aching for an argument.
I hate it.
But that's all for this episode. Kristin, why don't you go ahead and tie a bow on this bitch?
Bye.
See ya. Peace.